for those listening who maybe have just recently discovered the show, I've been podcasting now for almost 5 years, and in a short amount of time, I've picked up a lot of things from you, and I'm leaning on you and your team to help improve the show so that we can inject and provide more value. You and I think, have the same heart. We want to help people at the end of the day, and we have discovered this incredible platform called podcasting to be able to just use our voice to help people. And so I think that's an incredible thing. But I wanted to kind of take a few steps back. Meetup, the organization, flew you to Manhattan and had you speak, recognized you as one of the top meetups. So obviously you are an effective communicator. You're an impactful leader. You sold a podcast, which I don't personally know anybody else who has sold a podcast. So what does this all boil down to? Do you just have a gift and a talent to communicate effectively? Like, how did you discover?
I definitely don't think I'm the best communicator. I think it's two things. I think I have a really big heart, and I love people so much that I pull them into my world and give them everything that I got. And I develop strong relationships. Mm-hmm. And so that's a part of it. I think that's one of the things that helped me with Meetup. And all it really means is I think a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. And I figure out patterns quickly. And it was interesting when I was in, everybody always thought that I was a dumb kid. Like when I was in junior high and elementary, they're like, what a dummy. He's not going to amount to anything. But there was something weird because even though I couldn't spell, when I took the math test in 6th grade, because of this autism thing, somehow I was able to do geometry and some other math that we had never learned, but it just made so much sense automatically to me. Mm-hmm. So figuring out patterns and recognizing them and trying to understand and identify algorithms behind the thing, I've somehow have this ability to do that. And so I did it with Meetup. I did it with a lot with social media, and I've been doing it now with podcasting. And all it is really is kind of simplifying everything so that you're getting the most amount of traction with the least amount of effort. Yeah. And anyway, that's really what I did with the Meetup. That's what I've done on social media. A lot of people come to me for social media advice as well. And I just simplify it. Oh, this is all you have to do because of this and this and this. I give them the reasons. They're, holy cow, that's something new. Yeah. But I just pay attention to something, the opposite things than you pay attention to, or than most people that don't have autism would pay attention to. So that's my superpower, is identifying these, understanding what's happening behind the scenes. When I look at a wall, I see all the components behind the wall. And other people, what they're like, when you see this, what do you see? And my brain just somehow, it tries to pull the whole thing apart and understand the ins and outs of it, the intricacies, the unique pieces, okay, the moving parts. And so it's always been like that. That's what I did with podcasting. I try to figure out where to put the money that makes the biggest amount of results, and how to send the private messaging campaigns that gets actually people to subscribe, rate, and review. And it's a game to me. It's literally last night I played chess with both of my sons. I want them to think this way too. I want them to be seeing ahead of the game, trying to figure out the strategy behind it, because that's the fun part for me.
Right. And you bring up chess, one of my favorite games to play. I don't know if you ever saw The Queen's Gambit on Netflix, but you kind of remind me a little bit of her. Not that you're a chess prodigy, but that you see several steps ahead. And like you said, I think the analogy of the wall and the components behind the wall, I see a wall. You see so much more. It's the wall's transparent to you. And I really appreciate your transparency in talking about, the autism aspect of it, because I truly believe, Adam, that when you feel like you might be deficient, and I use that word in quotes, in one area, I feel like God amplifies you. My personal belief, I feel like you're amplified and given superpowers and talents in other areas. The challenge for a lot of people, and I don't know if you would agree with this, is that they don't take the time to discover and figure out what their superpower is. You clearly have. Was there something intentional that you did to really lean in on what your talents and gifts were, or was it something that just came natural and you knew what it was?